Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
friends. Hope you guys are ready for some amazing StarCraft action. I am F equals MA, and with me here we have the wonderful Black One. Go ahead and say hello to everyone.
Hey there, how's it going?
All right, so I'm pretty stoked. So it looks like we're going to be starting off here with Estrella and Bomber. And we are playing on the new map pool, if I am not mistaken. They just finished doing the vetoes here, and it looks like we're going to start on Submarine. Now, have you checked out any of these new maps yet?
Yes, I did. Actually, I've been practicing a lot lately, especially for my TVP. And I've been going through all the maps, and they are really interesting.
Yeah. I've played a couple of customs on them. I haven't done too much yet. But do you have any explicit thoughts on this map here, Submarine?
Okay, so these days I'm trying to get into some mech in TVP. And this map feels amazing for that.
All right.
I still think Blink is a little annoying on this map, but we'll see how Astria approaches this.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a perfect chance to see how Mech goes up against Protoss, because we do have Bomber versus Estrella. And let's get right into this. Do you want to go ahead and introduce our first player here?
Sure, why not? Introducing the red Terran player, spawning in the left top side. It is Bomber.
And his opponent sporting the blue color. The Protoss player representing Alpha X, it is Estrella. Now this is... Oh, go ahead.
So obviously we are kind of rooting for Astria to go win this one, right?
That's yeah, we're a little bit biased here. We do have a kind of early SCV making its way across the map here, and it's not going for the main... Well, it's kind of taking a circuitous route over here to get there. But
I'm wondering what his plan is with this, because the scout is really early, so you won't be seeing any tech. Okay, he's going for the block.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we saw the barracks at home, so it was kind of like, well, he's not going to proxy that first structure. Plus, sending the SCV at that point, you know, it was before the barracks started, but it was still going to be kind of late. But yeah, it looks like he's just going to go for that block here, force Estrella to take actually a pretty ugly natural. Like there's no other good option here.
No, not really. I feel like if you're Astria, you really want to chrono boost out that Zealot.
Yeah, there we see the Zealot there. A little bit of a supply block here from Estrella as well.
I guess those new maps, man, they just
mess
with you on a whole different level.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be starting to practice on the new maps? Any plans yet?
Let's see. Well, the season ends tomorrow, right? The 9th? Is that... When do they go live?
I think they go live on the 10th.
On the 10th?
Right?
Yeah. So a couple days. I will probably start doing a couple more. I'll do like a deep dive, you know, look at all of the maps. And then probably just go into it the same day. So it'll have a little bit of a learning curve.
Well, there are already there's already a lot of content, especially for the new maps. I think Custom did something for the Wall-offs. I think Showtime did some on his stream as well, so Protoss players should be ready.
Yeah. There was, I don't remember which one, I don't know if it was the ice and something or what. There was one map that I was like trying to figure out the Reaper wall, and it was like, there's no way to reasonably do this. Like, You have to have like 2 gateways, your cyber and like a twilight to keep things out, which is not great.
It's the same on this map. If you look at the Reaper jump spot, it's so weirdly shaped that you actually need three big buildings to block it.
Yeah. Well, back to this game. We do have a Reaper and a Cyclone making their way across the map. Lock-on's going to go down on this Stalker here. Some other things are joining the fight. The Stalker will go down, and Terran units actually turn around to try to fight a little bit more. Ooh, Forceful not quite trapping those units. Able to squeeze out.
That lock on the Zealot was really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to lock on anything, it'll be either the Sentry or the Stalker. Getting the lock on the Zealot.
Really unlucky. Yeah, I definitely want to go for those gas units. But he did pick off 1 Stalker for free. So, you know, able to send those units home, and the Reaper, of course, will heal itself, and the Cyclone able to repair.
I'm curious if this eBay Bomber is constructing is actually for bio upgrades, or if he's just going eBay to get turrets on.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's been a 1-1-1. We haven't seen a huge commitment to bio. Obviously, we don't have any of those big upgrades, stim, combat shields, quite yet. So I think that's a really good point. Oh, Stalker's actually picking off the Cyclone, but then the scan coming down to kill the Observer is going to prevent these Stalkers from being able to blink into the main. So going to have to wait for the Warp Prism.
Oh, I don't think this is a good play for Astria right now. Taking a lot of tank shells on those Stalkers, getting them really softened up already.
We do have a Robo-Bay going down at home. He's actually going to load the 4 Stalkers into the Prism and take them up here? Question mark? Oh, he is going to see the Liberator, though, so that's pretty big for Astrea. Oh, if he's looking.
Who's spotting whom?
Yeah, that's true.
The Warp Prism?
Well, neither player's doing huge reactions to that information, clearly looking elsewhere. Gonna get a couple workers here. Viking is out, so it's, nice blink there by Astrea, picking off the Viking. So these Stalkers should be able to load up into the Prism and get out for free. And the Blink Stalkers on the other side will take down that Liberator before it gets anything done. Very well done by Astrea.
Okay, so it looks like we'll be heading into bio play by Bomber. +1 attack upgrade on the way, as well as Stim. We see 4 barracks finishing up right now.
It's quite a few. And then the double production on those medevacs. Definitely good read on that bio play. Astrea poking in, sees the turret, not quite done, but still decides to pull back, so there are quite a few Marines there.
Okay, Astrea, what are you planning with those Stalkers?
Don't just lose them, don't just lose them. Well, he sees the command center here.
Oh, he's fighting the tank.
Oh, nice pick off on that
tank
as they're coming down here. Alright, he's going to blink those Stalkers out, gets all of them away, and he picks off 4 SCVs and a tank. Pretty much for free there, I believe. Yeah, didn't lose any of the Stalkers when he picked off the tank. So, very well done.
That observer placement is so nice.
Yeah.
Can you actually see it as a Terran? I don't think you can.
Because this dome, the glass dome, you'd have to do kind of like the scroll in and out kind of thing. But yeah, I think you're right. Regardless of your graphics settings, it's going to be very hard to see that observer.
Getting that factory would be so nice. Yeah. That delays any starport, any additional starport that is, and with your with Astrea's Colossi tech in the backhand,
yeah,
he's setting himself up for a nice push or a nice game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's getting in here. He could probably pick off this +2 attack here. But the army from Bomber actually coming around for a flank? Question mark? Yeah, loading up. It's going to fly straight over here. But there are 2 Colossi here. So this is going to be kind of scary engagement. But Estrella recalling most of that army up. 2 lone zealots left here to kill a refinery. But at the same time, we do have the Warp Prism at the 3rd base, dropping down, picking off quite a few, 7 SCVs in total there. These guys over back in the natural getting a few more. Estrella just doing continual damage, just poking back into the natural, back into the 3rd, natural 3rd, back and forth, while he gears up to take a 4th base of his own.
Well, that's what you want to do with your War Prism, with your army. If the Terran is just deciding to stay at home with everything he's got, why not just poke in here and there, try to pick off some SCVs, just make them run, really.
Yeah, for sure. And this observer, like you mentioned earlier, beautiful placement, lets Estrella know exactly where the army for Bomber is. Blinks 4 doesn't quite get the medevac, very close though.
That was half a shot away from dying.
Yeah. As if this tree didn't exist and the Stalkers could have blunked a little farther, you know, would have taken down.
All the Marines and Marauders beneath it are like, don't you dare falling down on my head.
Debris raining from above.
You just see that fire line in the sky.
Yeah, for sure. So Storm, little over halfway done here. +1/+1, about to finish for Estrella. Now, Bomber's army is in a very awkward position right now. I'm guessing he's going to try to load up and go into the main. But at the same time, we have a big engagement here. Not too many units falling for the side. A little bit of bio here does get charred, and the SCV that was building that 4th command center does get taken out.
Oh, Bomber going for that big flank, and he will meet some storms doing that. Also, the main army from Estrella is going to chase him back to their own base. Getting a Nexus will be really nice, but I don't think that anything will be able to get out of there.
Yeah, all the medevacs have fallen at this point, and with these 4 Colossi showing up, these bio units have been forfeited. Now, at the same time, Bomber is making a move over here to the 3rd base. These 2 High Templar were just warped in, not enough energy on them to get anything useful done. He's going to start powering some stuff down here, trying to get damage done before the Colossi show up. There's actually nothing really to help defend these Colossi.
Those are so many Marauders.
Yeah.
And the upgrades were speaking for Bomber as well.
Yeah, for sure. Very well done. I think, yeah, having all of his gateway units get kind of chewed up, trying to defend his natural, and then, you know, when the big push came into the 3rd base, he wasn't able to get in there and, you know, have the kind of like tankiness to keep the Colossi alive. So, well done by Bomber for game number 1.
So I went through some replays of Estrella yesterday, or like during the night.
Yeah.
And what I discovered is he either goes for this 2-gate robo expand, gets some Colossi with it, gets blink, but skips on his upgrades until like the 730 mark. And if he doesn't go for that one, he goes straight into upgrades. He goes 2-gate expand, blink, and then double forge.
Interesting. Yeah. No, that sounds like Estrella's MO for sure. I wonder if that. So I know Estrella and Bomber ran into each other in the qualifiers for GSL Season 2. Estrella actually was able to make it into Code S. Bomber not quite making the cutoff, and I think Estrella was actually the one that knocked him out in day 2 of the qualifiers. So I wonder if Bomber has kind of learned from playing those matches, okay, this is what Estrella does, this is what I have to do to take him down. So I wonder
for the no robo expand, I'm not feeling too good for Estrella, especially if new Widow Minds hit. That style,
yeah,
that build up just going to to disappear.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to have some observers to spot for you. Getting the blink early is certainly necessary for helping that mobility to bounce around wherever the mines come in. But we'll have to see what Estrella has planned for this game. Speaking of Estrella, spawning in the bottom left-hand side of Ice and Chrome, it is our blue Protoss player once again, Estrella.
And spawning as the red Terran player, currently leading 1-0, it is Bomber. Okay, again, those new maps. Can you see the fourth base, like above the, like to the left of the main base of Bomber?
Yeah.
Do you see the right of the Vespine Gazer? You can blink over there.
Oh, really? You can blink from here into the... Oh, how interesting.
Main base.
Interesting. We'll have to see if that comes into play here. Yeah. No, that does look like if you kind of rally Blunk across, you could definitely get a bunch of units in there. That's... You do have to have something to give you that high ground sight. At least they're not like level, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm curious, like, if we will be seeing a lot of blink DTs on this map, because if you have a spot like this to abuse, why not go for it? And blink DTs in your main base as a Terran are your worst nightmare. If they get on top of your production is just dead.
Yeah.
There's no way of saving it.
And even if they just go straight to the mineral line, right? You just like blink a couple of them in there, then you like wait for blink to come off cooldown, then run them over, blink in. You can like kill half a dozen SCVs in no time.
Blink DTs, man.
Yeah.
That was the last straw in David Kim's head. He went like, okay. We went Widow Mines, we went Banelings. What do we need now? And then he had that great idea to bring in Blink DTs. He went like Zeratul in a professional StarCraft 2 game. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Alright, well, so it looks like Estrella will get that Adept Shade in. He does see... Oh, actually, the Shade doesn't quite have the vision to see what else is in there. He does see the reactor on the barracks, but he didn't quite catch sight of the starport or the factory. And importantly, he didn't catch sight of the fact that there's a tech lab on top of this starport.
That's actually huge, because he's going for the Stargate play. And if he doesn't have any detection at home because his robo is delayed, or because the Oracle is just out of energy, he won't be able to spot this Benji moving in on his mineral line.
Yeah, so he does. We do see this first Oracle is across the map here. There's a couple Marines in each mineral line ready to fight it off. Now, the question is, will the Oracle get in to see the Cloak researching? I don't think so. I think he's probably going to come in... Well, maybe. Actually, now that those Marines have moved out of the way, if these Oracles fly in, they might decide to go into the main.
Okay, so what he needs to do, since he's still skipping the robo,
Yeah.
God, he needs to get some sheet batteries up now. He just saw the Benji flying above his Adept, so he should be aware of it coming. But being aware of it and killing it or defending it,
Two very
those are
different
two.
things.
Yeah.
He is making a Phoenix now to help kind of deal with that. The Oracles are still kind of chilling out on the map. He hasn't actually done anything yet with them. He has been building up quite a bit of energy in these Oracles. he does reveal one of the oracles here, so now the Terran player, is at least aware of the Stargate tech.
Do you think he expected something like this because he didn't see a Reaper? And he, Bomber went for the reacted Marines straight away. So Astria might have just said, okay, you're going to have a lot of Marines either way. There's no way I can deal any damage at your base. I'll just keep those oracles at home, or at least safe. And now he's flying in with 3 fully charged oracles.
I think with this army, depending on the micro, 3 fully charged oracles will kind of tear those Marines to shreds if the Marines aren't focus firing properly. And then, having the Phoenix kind of lift those tanks, the engagement could go well, but it's kind of scary.
Wait, what are we going for here? There's another oracle? How long has it been since you've seen oracle? Oh, nice
okay.
stasis trap. How long has it been since you've seen oracle adapt compositions?
Yeah, it's not super traditional in today's meta. We do have the Banshees in the main here coming in. They do get 5 workers, maybe a 6th. Yeah, 6 will go down, but they ultimately do fall here. But all of the tanks fell for our Terran player. And these Marines might get picked off as they try to retreat.
Those adepts are coming in and they are really, really angry. They just lost the base and now they want revenge. They want sweet revenge. And those Wither Mines might give it to them. Okay. Not the connect Astria was hoping for.
Yeah. We do still have quite a few Blink Stalkers here for Astrea. And at this point, Astrea has set up the other 3rd base and is starting a 4th Nexus down at this, we'll say, 630 position? The bottom center-ish.
The DT Blink position.
The DT Blink position, that's what we'll call it. Okay, blinking in, doing a little bit of damage, or walking in, doing a little bit of damage, and then blinking out. Astrea just kind of poking and prodding a little bit. Now he does have a couple oracles with quite a bit of energy, and there's no missile turret kind of in the mineral line. There's a missile turret up here at the top, and there's one kind of on the production. So it'd be difficult for these oracles to get in. But we have a little bit of an engagement here. Marauders fighting some stalkers. Stalker will, a couple stalkers will die.
I would love to see Astria moving in with those oracles, and that's what he does. He pulled the whole army of Bomber out of position and then checked to see if he can get any SV kills on that base. Didn't quite get him because the turret was present, but still a really cute move.
Yeah. Now, this choke is going to be interesting for Bomber to try to push into. We have quite a few sentries with energy here, and with the blink, it's going to be, pretty easy for Astrea to hold this location. Charge is done. So a round of Zealots get warped in. What was that?
The thing is, Astria's tech is super late. He's just getting the robotics bane now. Yeah. His upgrades are not that fast neither. All he did in the early and mid game was building oracles, and they didn't really pay off. A lot of them just died. Some of them got 6 SCV kills, but that's not the damage you are looking for. We can see the Dark Shrine coming in now as well. So that'll be interesting to see if he decides to just directly go for the Blink DT.
Yeah, I think with all of the turrets in the main, that's not going to be... we've got 3 here, so I would be surprised if Astrea tries to go for it, but it is definitely a possibility.
Well, we'll see, because as of right now, he's down 18 supply.
Yeah,
He does not have the tech to combat the Terran army, and his upgrades are really late as well. The Terran already on his way to +3 attack upgrades and now pushing into the natural and the third base at the same time, getting huge Widowmine connects on those Zealots, might be able to clean that side up completely and take out the Nexus as well. Meanwhile, the drop in the main, trying to get some more damage down. I think he might be able to deny all those upgrades if he focuses them.
We do see one Colossus did start up before the robotics bay fell. Another robotics bay on the way. But yeah, this is not looking great for Estrella, having to rebuild this Nexus, while at the same time on the other side, we've got a planetary fortress taking the, we'll call it the DT base. the blink base. Call it the blink
Be
base.
aware of the DT base, for it will hunt you. As of right now, Bomber in a really good spot. 2-2 upgrades finished up, +3 almost done. He's pushing across the map, just got himself a free DT and delaying Estrella's tech even further. We see Blink coming in for the Dark Templars.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Let's see if he goes for the play I was talking about, but as of right now, this is...
I don't know if we're going to make it that far.
Oh.
Yeah, great double-pronged attack here by Bomber, hitting the fourth base as well as the natural. A little bit too much bio. Estrella has to tap out.
Bomber just really on top of Estrella all game long. His tank push in the early mid-game just took down that third base immediately. The Banshees, even though they should have been useless against the Stargate opener, they still managed to do quite some damage, getting 6 probes while you're on 2 bases. That's not really the thing you are looking for right there. Then those Oracles, they did get 1 huge stasis ward off and 4 Marine kills and maybe a couple of SCVs, but in the end, he wasn't quite able to get any more value out of those. They just died, really. His push with the Adepts didn't do anything neither. Just eating a lot of Widowmine shots, and then from there on, it was just running up a hill.
Yeah, it was just going to be too difficult, you know, for Estrella to kind of come back from that position. I think you're right. So next up, we do have another series. This is going to be Zest versus Armani. So it should be a ZVP. Nice. All right. Let's see. One other thing. So one thing we do want to point people over to, it looks like all the Matcherino codes have been used up, but if anybody wants to head over to the Matcherino page, it is pinned up at the top of the chat there. Definitely check it out, and if you can get in there, you can get all the replay packs from this stuff for a $5 donation to the Matcherino page, and all this money goes towards the prize pool for these players. So definitely make sure to support our players, and be sure to collect on those sweet replays here. You're definitely going to want to know how to play on these new maps. So that first match, that first set there, going to be key in that. All right, looks like players are getting ready to do their vetoes. Zest was in here earlier. We are trying to get a hold of Zest now.
So, are you the kind of guy who says Zest best? Zest is best? Or?
Zest is best, for sure. Zest is my spirit animal. I am a very my Protoss play, I mean, right now I've been doing a lot of cheeky, cheesy builds, and while Zest is an amazing macro player, he does have a lot of cheeky timings and pushes, right? You know, he's against Zerg.
Yeah.
We've got the Adept into DT kind of build, Glaive Adept into DTs kind of thing. I was watching a bunch of his games the other day where he was just going for like an early robo pressure. How about yourself? What are your opinions of these two players?
Okay, so I know Zest personally from Home Story Cup event, and
nice.
from there on I was all Zest is best.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, he has been experimenting a lot with his builds. I feel like especially in PvT, not really paying off all too often.
Yeah.
Especially facing off against players like Innovation.
Yeah.
Getting not the ultimate build or the best build in those kind of matches will just hurt you in about they will just hurt you.
Yeah.
But recently he has been a big fan of the Dark Templar, and I am looking forward to seeing a lot more Dark Templar play in the future because I want a nerf on them so bad.
Yeah, what was it? I don't remember what series it was. Maybe it was TSL. It was Zest versus someone, and he goes for the proxy, Dark Shrine, and Gateway. So it looks like a standard Blink opener-ish, except that he makes a proxy Dark Shrine and a proxy Gateway.
Do you remember which map it was? Because I think he did it against TY and Innovation, but in separate events.
You're right. It might have been in the group stages for GSL against Innovation, now that I'm thinking about it. I'd have to go back and watch, or go back and like check and see. But yeah, I also agree. I like the experimenting with DTs, and we'll see if they end up playing on the ice and something.
Okay, so that's just going. Golden Wall is kind of a Zerg map, and Amani answering with, "Is it?" That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amani not really sure what those new maps are. He didn't play them yet. Zest as well. He just said it's the first time for him seeing those new maps. He is sorry for it. And Amani is just like, it's just fun.
Nice.
So definitely a lot of creative play coming in for us.
Well, I look forward to see what they do. They are both playing on this new map, so the fact that neither of them have played on it before, I think, hopefully will make for a very exciting and interesting game here.
Oh man. Those pro players, you'd expect them to just prepare.
Yeah, I get to
prepare the new maps in general, like at least look at them.
Well, I mean, at the same time, I can kind of see, like, oh, maybe they're waiting until there's a tournament or something where they have to play them on. I think they weren't told that they were going to be playing on the new maps until earlier today for this, so might have caught them a little bit off guard. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into this game. Would you like to introduce our first player here?
Okay, he is currently known as Best, or is it Zest?
And spawning.
That was my introduction.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. And on the other side of the map, the Zerg player, Armani, currently, I think, on Afrika Freak. Yeah, that's what the tag is, Afrika Freaks. It is Armani.
Oh, Zest going for a signature hatch block.
Yeah. Armani
Let's see. I'm curious because I usually don't really like Zest's Wall-offs. Let's see if he goes for a signature Zest Wall-off as well. So far, it looks good.
looks standard. Looks fine. He does force the hatchery to get placed out at this third location. Now this isn't terrible, right? I mean, like as a Zerg player, there's still really only one attack path that isn't. Well, I guess there's two attack paths on the space, but one of them is kind of coming down from the naturals, so not super exposed or anything.
Okay, so I guess if Zest should decide to go for his Glaive Adept build, going for the natural opening with his Adept and just shading into the main, like faking the shade into the main and going for the third base might be really strong on this map because the walk distance is so big.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see. I have seen a lot of DTs lately, so I'm not too confident to call Glaive Adepts anymore.
That's true. It's you get the Glaive Adepts to kind of as a segue while you're getting into the DTs. We do see one
It's
Adept
just
coming
so
out.
confusing. Protoss play can be just so confusing because to the point where you get the Twilight Council, everything looks the same, and then you start not getting Glaive Adept, and suddenly it's Dark Templar.
Yeah. We will have to
I
see.
think this might be the Dark Templar play, no? He's going for the Stalker.
Yeah, I expect to see the Robo, and yeah, sure enough, here comes the Robo. We should see 3 more gateways at some point. Not immediately, but soon enough.
Not getting the Glaive.
Now-
Upgrade neither.
Armani has stopped making drones and has just been making a lot of Zerglings, and there's no shield battery here quite yet for Zest. Here we go. Okay, he realizes, all right, there's a lot of Lings coming. He does throw down this battery. He's going to have to wall behind his Stalker here. That Stalker has been left to die. The next Adept will pop in on this inside here, but I'm worried that the Cybernetics core might go down.
Maybe put a chrono boost on it so your warp gate finishes earlier. Oh my god, this is getting so
it
close.
finishes.
Okay. He gets.
Right. Now the shield batteries are exposed here, and I think there's a crack right here where the Lings might be able to get in. Maybe not. No, okay, it is full wall there. He's also going to lose that Robo, and he won't be able to start that another Robo until a little while later here. Simply because his core is just going down again. Now, these shield batteries are completely out of energy, and the Lings just continue to flood across the map. Core finally finishes, so we will see some more units getting warped in here.
But so far, this has been really good defense by Zest. He didn't lose any any probes. His wall-off looks solid to me. Oh, why did he cancel that one? Oh no! Why did you cancel that one? Zest!
Yeah.
Why?
That hurts. I'm curious though. I almost wonder. I think even without that wall, there are just a lot of Lings. It was going to be hard to recover. Because he kept on losing all of his tech, right? He's going to lose his core again. He still hadn't started Glaives, but I guess you can start that at any time. I think he just underreacted, right? He needed to immediately throw down a lot more shield batteries. But very well played by Armani, making sure to go for all of those, all of those Lings, right? Go for that aggressive play when he saw that Zest was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm not going to scout you too much. I'm going to do my normal thing. The Adept was at home, didn't get across the map to see anything, so...
I guess he was really going for that fun Zerg style.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we'll be climbing into a map that both players are a little more comfortable with here. Going to Everdream. And I like this map. I think this is of the 3 new maps from this past season, I think this is the only map that I liked. I wasn't a huge fan of Golden Wall or Purity and Industry, but Everdream's good.
Okay, so Zest seems a little bit surprised by the rush distance, which seems to be really short on Submarine.
Interesting. And that Submarine isn't the one. There's one of these maps does have accelerator zones, but I don't think it's Submarine.
And Amani is like, he has seen the core timing and thought, okay, let's press on that Z button and just flood you with links.
Yeah. Running them straight across the map.
Okay, so what are your hot takes on Everdream? Because I have a Terran friend who's really not liking this one. And I feel like Protoss is kind of enjoying this one.
Game paused.
Yeah, I like this map a lot. I think one thing that's really interesting here is that Zest is sending one of his first probes, right? This is one of his initial 12 probes running across the map here. So there's going to be a proxy of some sort. But back to your question in terms of my take on this map. I have been doing a lot of cannon rushing recently, and this map is like a godsend to cannon rushers because you can drop a cannon on the low ground and you can hit the gas geyser. So it's just insanely good as a cannon rushing map. But we'll see what Zest is up to. Is he max paxing?
No, I don't.
Oh no,
think so.
he's just blocking. Do you have to send that early in order to hatch block? Interesting. I guess so.
Okay, so Zest just went, why didn't you ask me? Amani answering with a lot of laughter.
Yeah. Good thing Zest was ready, I guess. Interesting. I didn't realize that this map was so long that you had to send one of your first workers to block the hatch.
Well, Everdream, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're into cannon rushing against Zerg. More the parting or more the printf kind of cannon rush?
More of the printf. Although I think when Parting did it versus Sue, he was using printf and Grim Reaper's kind of style when he did it for the GSL match. But I think one of the nice things, what happens a lot on this map, if Zergs go hatch first, is you can do a really nice 2-gate build where you basically just wall the top of the ramp here, make cannons in the gateway, and just flood them with stalkers, batteries, and cannons. I think it was on this map actually that Parting did his cannon rush though, and he went for the Robo Bay over on this side by where the third base is. So, all right, I guess.
Didn't he go for for the cannon rush in the GSL against Sue? Even?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was on this map against Sue. They were kind of swapped positions here, but.
Sue went for a super early pull, right?
He 12-pulled. Yeah.
I only got a small summary of the games, and I was like, okay, Parting, if you can cannon rush this, then I don't know what you can't cannon rush.
Yeah, no, it was a 12-pull out of Sue, and Parting he was saying in an interview he smiled when he saw it was a 12-pull. And that's when he kind of credited printf. It was like, oh, I've watched a lot of printf's stream, and as soon as I saw the 12 pool, I smiled to myself because I knew that I would win. I don't think it's quite that easy, but parting is
parting is parting.
Parting is parting.
What can you say?
Adept coming in here, picking off a Ling. Not doing too much, but we do see a Dark Shrine starting back in the main base of Zest. No glaives.
He really loves that building.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful, amazing building.
Oh man, you should start playing Terran a little. You would just start hating that building to the maximum.
That's just a pylon, right? That's nothing fancy. It's just a pylon with a little more health. Don't look at that. Nothing to see.
Slowly building pylon.
So,
okay.
yeah, it's interesting to see that he's not going for the Glaive Adept into the Dark Shrine. He's just going straight for that Dark Shrine. Now we do have a Warp Prism popping out here. With that, I wonder if he's going to use the Stalker to kill the Overlord? No, just flying straight across the map here.
So this is kind of cute by Zest. He always goes for those Dark Shrines with 4 Adepts. Because as long as the Dark Shrine isn't spotted like it is right now, everything looks like his Adept timing, right? So the Protoss might just go, oh no, the Adept's coming, and then suddenly you have like 3 to 4 DTs in your base and they kill your layer and you write GG. Good unit.
Yeah. Alright, well that Overlord is actually a hero here. Not only does it get the scout off, it also survives and is hiding in this back corner here.
Oh, the Adepts made it into the main base. Oh no, it was the... Was it the Adepts or was it the...
So he dropped some DTs in there. They didn't quite, because of the Spore Crawler, Zest went ahead and turned it into an Archon and then had to recall it out because there are 2 Queens and a bunch of Lings about to hit it. So he did save that Archon, I think. Yeah, but it's now trapped. Oh, okay, never mind. The War Prism was able to save it. It was like I think the Archon's a little too chubby to fit through the hole where the Stalker is.
The Zerglings at the 3rd base. Will they get the cancel off? No, okay, Dark Templar are a good defensive unit as well.
yeah, very strong.
Okay. So what's the plan for Zest now really? He did get a lot of drone kills. What do you want to do as a follow-up?
I think what he should do is actually load up another Archon into this Warp Prism and then just do Archon drops over here, right? And just like kind of hit the Queens, maybe some drones if you can get in that deep. But he's actually running all of these over here. He's going to try to snipe that Spore Crawler. Currently, we don't have any. Oh, there's one Overseer on the map, but it is all the way on the other side in the main base of Zest. Ling's trying to come back in here, but Zest is going to kill this 3rd base off.
Oh man, Zest really didn't like the Zergling bust in the last game. He's just going for all the DTs and this one.
Oh man, yeah. It was Classic, I think, that did the Blink DT build.
Oh yeah.
Where it was like as fast as you can or whatever. Basically got in and sniped the lair of his opponent before the Overseers could start.
I want strategies like that one back. That's just like the most exciting thing for me when I'm watching StarCraft 2 is when I see a strategy or build I have never seen before. For example, when Innovation went for the double proxy battle cruiser against Maru. I had never seen that thing before. And I was so hyped so amazed by what he did that that match alone just kept me watching for the whole GSL season. And same thing with classic play of going for those blink DTs, sniping the layer in the main base, and then blinking out again.
Yeah, he saved all of them. It's crazy.
It's just those plays make StarCraft worth watching.
Yeah.
It's not the standard game on overgrowth in different colors. It's the crazy maps, it's the crazy plays, it's the creativity that goes into StarCraft 2. Oh, and Nidus Swarm in the main base.
I was just about to say, we do have a little bit of a Nidus, and this is entirely out of the vision of Zest. So Zest about to get caught completely off guard as a whole bunch of Ravagers can possibly swarm in, but he actually, realizing he might need those units at home to defend, does send 4 Roaches to start doing some damage here. But there's a whole lot of Protoss army here. Way too much. We've got to. Yeah, there's no way Armani's going to have enough to stop the 2 Immortals, the 3 Archons, and all of those Blink Stalkers. Great timing by Zest there.
The damage he dealt with those DTs just, in the end, broke Armani's neck. He couldn't afford enough units. He lost so many drones, which he had to replenish. So lava was a problem as well.
Yeah.
And then Zest just pulled the trigger, went for a ton of Blink Stalkers, and just went ahead and killed it.
Yeah, very well done by Zest. I think you're right. Yeah, just kind of like the damage that was done earlier with those DTs was just not something that Armani could recover from. So well done by Zest. All right, we are going to climb into game number 3 here. This is going to be on Eternal Empire. Going back to more of the standard maps.
Ah, Eternal Empire. You know, I kind of love this map.
Yeah?
As a Terran, you have so much dead space around the 3rd base and the main base. You have nice tank spots. Your 3 base economy is pretty much safe. Your 4th base is a little bit open, but if you position your whole army there, it's safe as well. And 4 bases are what the Terran needs. On the other hand, I feel like breaking Protoss, when they get on to 3 bases, is super hard on this map. And same thing for Zerg. So breaking 3 bases just almost impossible. Zest, by the way, going for the super quick probe once again to block that natural expand for Armani. I am curious. Will you go for Dark Templars again?
So,
do you think?
Interesting pathing here by Zest as well, because he didn't go straight to the base.
I think not going straight for the base was what eventually led to Armani taking the hatch a little bit easier, actually getting the natural expand.
Yeah, I wonder if instead of clicking on the main, Zest accidentally clicked down here or something. Maybe not. I don't know. It's probably he has a plan. He knows what he's doing. Best not to question Zest. And everything else is going totally fine. Taking the Nexus per usual.
Do you think it's a problem if you just go for Dark Templars every game, like Zest has been doing for the past week or 2?
I mean, I think as long as you're still getting consistent win rate, keep doing what you're doing. That's kind of my take on it. If it's working, no problem, keep going. I think if it becomes something that is not reliable, then perhaps you need to reflect on it. But I'm okay with him doing the same build as long as he's continuing to get results with it, right? Because it does.
The thing is, so my worry behind it is, if you go for that one strategy every game, eventually people will catch up to you and they'll be able to defend those strategies, like we've seen with Rogue in the IEM finals, right? Where he just went, okay, you're playing this thing every game. I guess you just die when I do this every game.
Yeah.
And I feel like those Dark Templar builds are really fragile when it comes to a place like Rogue did. So going for them in any matchup and at any time
Yeah.
is kind of risky. But in boxing you have a saying, or like you have the rule that you want to make them believe you have a certain pattern and then just not have a pattern anymore.
Yeah. I do want to point out we are seeing the exact same build out of Armani that we saw that first game. We have a ton of lings. He stopped making drones like a minute ago and has been constantly streaming lings across. The Adept did get in and see the lack of drones at that natural. And so Zest did throw down these shield batteries a little bit earlier here and got the full wall up with the Stalker behind the wall. And I think at this point he's in a much better position to kind of hold this. And it looks like, yeah, he's definitely going to survive for now. We still have 12 more lings in production, a total of 25 already on the map here. So this pressure is not done yet. And actually, if this core goes down, there's going to be a ton of surface area started up. We do see another core coming down. But yeah, Zest able to get that scout with the initial worker there. Or not the worker, get the scout with the Adept. And totally saw what was coming and was able to hold it that time. I think that was a great job of Zest kind of adapting and making sure to get in, because the first game he was caught a little bit unaware, caught off guard by all of those lings, and this time he was like, hey, do you have drones? Have you been making drones? Are you making lings instead? I think if Armani had done something like transfer half of his workers from his main into the natural, perhaps he could have sold it a little bit better. But as it was, Zest definitely able to see what was coming and was able to shut it down. So it looks like we are getting ready to hop into Bomber versus Zest. But before we do, and while the players get their vetoes all in here, I know that it is getting late here at my time. What time is it? What time is it where you are?
It's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Yeah.
It is 1 a.m. where I am, and we're not stopping anytime soon. So I know that I need to get some energy here. So I'm gonna go to the official energy drink of esports. We're gonna go ahead and mix up a little bit of this here. We got some kiwi strawberry G Fuel, and let me tell you a little bit about G Fuel. For those of you who don't know, I already mentioned they are the official energy drink of esports. And right now, they're inviting you to take a trip down flavor memory lane with a whole bunch of flavors like bubblegum. You know, I mentioned I'm drinking the kiwi strawberry here. I think the other day I had gummy fish, which I'm not sure what I was expecting when I cracked that package open. But these are zero sugar energy drinks packed with, you know, antioxidants, vitamins, whole bunch of things to help keep you focused, keep you hydrated, and to keep you going in these long hours, these late hours, and in these dark times that we're in. So definitely, if you have not done so, check G Fuel out. You can find them all over the place. I think actually the Matcherino page might have some stretch or some what are they called? Like the quests that you can go on. I think that's what they're called on Matcherino, where you can follow them on Twitter, do that kind of stuff, and go to their website. They got, you know, different sampler packets that you can try out, and make sure to stay hydrated, friends.
Make sure to drink that stuff. Drink as much as you can, really, because your body needs it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were 2 matches in. We've got 3 more to go, I believe. This is the group stages are double elimination. So we'll have right now. What did I say? We've got Zest versus Bomber first. This is the winners match. And then after that, we'll have Estrella versus Armani. And then the loser of this match will play the winner of Estrella versus Armani. And then everything will be decided, what have you. But actually, this kiwi strawberry is pretty good. I'm digging it.
Okay, so we have the maps figured out now. First map will be Ice and Chrome. Second one, Golden Wall. And the third one, if we should get to that point, will be Submarine. I'm looking forward to this. The chat is already discussing because Zest's PVT seems to be really strong. Even though he has been struggling against innovation, recently he has also been doing pretty well against Terrans. He did take down New Thermal, he did take down innovation once as well.
Yep.
So that's really just somebody to be aware of in that matchup.
Yeah, definitely very strong. I don't know if there's a huge history between these two players. I guess that's something I could have checked on Illegal Act, but I am not there right now. But yeah, let's go ahead and climb into it, and we'll get to see live if any history gets made between these two players.
I am so excited because the new maps are here, and we have some of the best players ever to play those maps, and Zest especially taking that second place in this year's IEM Katowice. He's just in for it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Zest, spawning in the top right-hand side of Ice and Chrome from Razor Edge Gaming, it is the red Protoss player, Zest.
And spawning as the blue Terran player on the bottom left, it's the Terran representing Team GP. It is Bomber.
I need to get some like sound clips of like people cheering. So after we like introduce the players, you hear like a yeah, you know, kind of thing.
Did you ever think about getting the Fear Dragon mod?
No. Yeah, in chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ravi about that a little bit, or Fear Dragon about that. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, yeah, basically what it does is in Twitch chat you can type, you know, cheer and then the name of the player you want, and then when the introduction happens, it'll like based on the number of people that have cheered for an individual player, like the volume will be scaled. So kind of a neat little programming thing that he did there. Fun little project.
So during the TSL, they did have some applause during the introduction, and I wasn't sure if they were using that program or if they were just like playing a sound clip in the background.
I think it was just a sound clip. Yeah, I was catching up on the TSL 5 stuff because that ended actually Saturday, right? Yesterday, 2 days ago.
I think it was Saturday.
Yeah, I think they wrapped up on Saturday, depending on time zone where you are in the world. But they had the semifinals and then the grand finals. I think Zombie Grub and Roddy were casting those. But yeah, no, you're right. They did have the cheering. I don't think they were using the thing that Fear Dragon made, but that would have been a perfect place to use it.
Right. I think Base Trade uses it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it Wardy? Sometimes I just get confused with those two because they do so similar things. Okay, so Proxy Starport coming down for Bomber. He's going for the Hellion drop into the main. I love that build order. It's pretty much the equivalent of the Dark Shrine, just for Terran.
I could see it. I want to say that the Banshee is more akin to the Dark Templar, but this is definitely a beautiful harass move by a Terran player. So the idea is that you get your 4 Hellions here, They finish up, you run them over, and by the time they get here, they can load up into this medevac that is finished, and you just fly straight into the main base of the Protoss player, past whatever Hellion wall they have here.
The Hellion wall on this map actually super hard to do. I think walling off on the new maps is generally pretty hard because the chokes at the natural are quite large. You don't have those spaces like you did with Eternal Empire, with let me think of some. Nightshade was one of those as well, where you could pretty safely wall off with 2 gateways, and now you need 3 to get the wall off. I don't know, it looks kind of hard, but those Hellions getting into the main base right now, they need to fire at those probes, but as of right now, the hold is super good by Zest, only losing 4 SCVs, probes.
Alright, so I really like what Zest did there. He knew, somehow Spidey senses, felt this coming. He had his stalkers in the main, and he dropped a gateway to make a wall at the front, so if Hellions tried to run in here, if it was a feint with the medevac, he was still fine. And yeah, only losing 4 workers for those 4 Hellions, I think, was very, very well done. Stalkers are going to try to...
Stalkers.
Yeah. Going to try to find the Stargate, but I think they are going to miss it.
Oh, maybe that Zealot will find it flying away.
Yeah?
You know what would be the funniest balance update ever? That would be when they decide that floating town buildings will crush anything that is beneath them.
Oh man.
And you just see people like Maru proxying anything. Really,
Yeah.
just flying into the opponent's base and trying to crush all the SCVs.
All of the poor Bronze
All
League
the
players are, dealing with, people just making barracks, flooding them in and crushing stuff. Oh man, that would be disgusting.
That'd be so fun. You'd have nothing but buildings and just try to micro them so they don't stack on top of each other and just fall on anything that is beneath them. Because if you think about it, when they go down so slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, blocking town buildings from landing would be impossible as well. That'd be so fun. Oh my god.
Oh man. Alright, so we do see, is the reactor gonna fall? No, okay. Zest, beautiful control here, pulling back the wounded stalkers. He is gonna have to get out though with these 2 tanks. Almost gets the reactor here, not quite. But behind this, Zest is taking his 4th base right now, right? He's got Colossus, he's getting extended thermal lance. In terms of upgrades, his +1 plus, I guess just +1 attack is gonna finish before +1 attack of the Terran, which is, pretty standard for Protoss players. But blinking into the main here, he does pick off a couple of units, and he might actually be able to get a fair bit of damage done here. And this is the spot. Oh. Yeah,
he didn't
I don't
know.
think he knows.
He didn't know.
He doesn't know that. Yeah, that you can blink out. We'll have to tell him after the game.
I wish he knew. That'd be so fun. Imagine he just looks at the map and decides, yeah, I can blink there. And then during the match, for the first time playing the map in ever, just does it. That'd be the biggest brain move I have seen since MC going for big heads.
Yeah.
And a lot of them.
Yeah. Alright, well, each player content to just kind of tech up a little bit more. Zest is throwing down one of my favorite structures here, the Dark Shrine.
Once again!
Hey man,
Zest
is best. Zest knows best.
Zest knows best and he knows what's best. I feel like the Dark Shrine is pretty much a go-to structure when you're claiming the 4th base, because Dark Templars will make it so much easier to defend any run-bys or drops. At the same time, you have the money to afford big run-bys to hit the Terran economy with those Zealot warp-ins, those DT warp-ins, and just going for that one actually.
Wow.
Oh, I love those gateways.
Yeah, at first I thought
so
these were
cute.
just going to be spotter pylons, but he actually is just making fast warp-in pylons on either side of the map. Now, does this factory know? Okay, no, this factory is completely unaware. There's a floating factory that if it decides to like come home, might find it. I do think the command center over here. Oh, will he see it?
Is it?
He's not going to see it
going
yet.
to see?
I don't know if the SCV comes to this side. He might. Oh, actually, the
Okay,
army
no,
though
he's
does
going.
find this other gateway. Gonna force a cancel on that location, and the probe does run out. Okay, at this point, Bomber definitely sees it, but he doesn't see the DT warping in here. Should be able to scan it and kill it pretty quickly.
Please don't attack. No!
Oh, you gotta
Why
hit the
did you-
SCV.
No!
Oh, Zest. Okay, he's gonna
That was
start up.
not. That was not the ninja kind of Dark Templar. He was just an apprentice. He was like, I got into the base. I need to do something, and then he.
Let me hit. Let me hit.
Yeah. I want to be useful.
Yeah. So
Notice me, Zespie.
Zest making a huge warp in. We got 7 Dark Templar walking over here, while at the same time he's taking this fight. Charge is done, and these bio units are going to have to walk back a little bit because the Colossi are going to be quite scary. Dark Templar coming in here, getting immediately on top of the army here. Yeah, with that Shadow Strike upgrade done, they can close the gap. They do all end up falling, but a huge portion of this Terran army has fallen as well. Recall coming down on the army. This should be all of the Colossi with
Oh my
the,
god, this
Immortal-
is horrible for Zest. All the Colossi can be focused down. One does fall. The Nexus falls as well, and Bomber picks up and gets out of there.
All right, so we do see another warp-in of DTs blinking on top of this command center, and it's only partway done, and he's gonna snipe this command center. He was doing this while the big fight was happening at the south side here. Zest gonna have to control this carefully. He's probably gonna lose all of these stalkers as well as this Colossus, but he's running the Dark Templar into the main here, or into the natural rather, and forcing Bomber to respond. Bomber down to 50.
Have you ever played League of Legends?
A little bit, yeah.
There's a saying to run it down mid.
Yeah,
I
just
feel
go.
like this is what those Dark Templars are doing.
Yeah, just go straight down mid lane. Yeah,
Okay, so Bomber gearing up for a huge push.
counterattack.
He is going to finish up his +2 armor upgrade. Meanwhile, we see the first disruptor for Zest on the map, and if those disruptor get good connections, I think Zest is still in a good position.
Yeah. Blinking some DTs in here, as well as running some Zealots into the third base. These proxy gateways getting quite a bit of use here, and buying Zest time to get these disruptors out. One disruptor shot, not going to make any big connection here, but at the same time, we do have a small group of units with a couple medevacs running into the base. Warp-in of charge lots and DTs will force that back, but we have the engagement here at the other side, and these units are going to immediately run in and focus down the Colossi. Both Colossus falling here. Looks like the army of Bomber is going to regroup, and all of the disruptors I think were killed off in that engagement as well. And now Zest is left without any army besides these stalkers. He's got a few charge lots, and this is not looking good for our Protoss hero.
Oh, that's... I was about to say, it's so cute that he just leaves his Dark Templars out of that fight until the scan was out. But then he already lost anything, like everything else, and the bio ball of Bomber just crushing the... Like, the Colossi-based army that just didn't have the meat to support all the strength that the Colossi would bring.
Yeah, I think I didn't quite catch as the stimmed units ran at the Colossi, or I caught the tail end of that engagement, so I didn't see the disruptors go down. I did see the last of the Colossi falling, but definitely Zest needed a little bit more, like, he needed some more gateway units to protect those AoE units, right? Instead, he was using the gateways to make the Dark Templar, and he was doing quite a bit of damage with those, right? You know, he killed one of the CCs, but that prompted the counterattack, and he just didn't have the army at home to stand up because he'd been making all those Dark Templar.
So are you ready to face off against Zest? Oh.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, oh.
Don't.
Put me in, coach. I got
Don't
this. I got this. I'll take Zest. No problem.
Give me that 50%.
Oh man, yeah, taking the handicap strong. All right, so looks like we are climbing into game number 2 on Golden Wall here between Zest and Bomber. Bomber currently leading our series 1-0. And let's climb on in.
What's your take on Golden Wall? I'll be asking you for any map that has been in the last pool, by the way.
I don't like Golden Wall. I don't know. I ended up vetoing it after playing. I gave it a chance, right? I went. I think I played like 50 games on this map and 50 games on Purity and Industry before I vetoed both of them. But I had like a 27% win rate or something on each of these maps. It's no bueno.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened? Did the Zerg flood you with links to the...
No, it's just a combination of things. I don't even know. It was just, yeah, Zerg's like, mining out the back, taking that. Terran's lifting and taking the back. People sneaking the golds. Fun fact, a scouting worker going across this location here does not see a building, what are they called? Town hall structure. So if there's a command center or a nexus or a hatchery right here, the standard scouting path would not see that. Fun fact on this map. And I believe this
Another
map is
fun fact.
Staying in. But, yeah?
So listen to this. The worker will not scout the town hall structure, but what the worker will see is the mineral line in the middle of the map, and if it's being mined out or not.
Huh. That actually is a really interesting point. Huh.
I don't quite remember which match I was watching, but there was a match lately, I think it was in the TSL, where that actually had effect.
So it's just like mining this out so they could hit from the backside or something?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Bomber doing his due diligence, making a nice little loop up here, checking to see if there's any proxies. Sees no such thing, comes home. And actually going for a Marine straight into a reactor here. No Reapers for scouting. And I think that's actually pretty wise on this map. The only place a Reaper can get in is like here. It's like the ramp and right next to the ramp because of the minerals in the backside. So I think it's pretty standard and pretty smart to just skip the Reaper scout on this map because it's not going to get anything for you anyway.
How crazy is it that TY still managed to beat Bomber on this map with 2 Rex Reaper, 3 Rex Reaper?
Yeah, a little unfathomable.
TVT is just a wild matchup, man.
Yeah. That was it. I was talking to someone the other day, and the way they described TVT is, was it like, some things happen, then a base trade happens, and then someone wins. It's like pretty spot on.
That's a nice summary right there.
Yeah, that's most TVTs. I will say I stayed up to watch the GSL finals, which was TVT. and they were pretty good matches. I
Right?
was very pleased with those games.
I heard a lot of people say that it was a 4-0, it wasn't that good, but actually those matches were so good. Like, I did miss the first match. I I have to confess on that one, but the matches afterwards, like, okay, the second match was kind of one-sided because TY just really hit that one strategy that would kill Cure in an instant. But other than that, those matches were so back and forth and so multitasking heavy, so action heavy, that I just fell in love with TVT on that day.
Yeah, I definitely recommend going back and watching that game, especially if you like capital ships. It was, so, you know, spoiler alert for those of you who have not yet seen it, it was a 4-0, so, you know, on the face value it looks like it was one-sided, but the matches were all very good. And it wasn't as much of a slam dunking as it could have been. Now, we should talk about this match a little bit. We do have a Warp Prism, soon to be a Speed Prism with Colossus coming over here. Zest scouted that the backside had been mined out and that this base down here had been taken. Now, of course, we know there's also command center here that can be lifted and placed at the natural at any time. But for now, we'll have to see what damage Zest can get done with this Speed Prism with the Colossus here.
What type of guy are you? Colossi drop or Disruptor drop?
I'm more of a disruptor drop, or at least I want to be, right? Like, I want to get really good at using disruptors.
Everybody wants to.
So I've been playing the game since the beta, right? So I used to be a Colossus kid at heart, but I don't know. Disruptors are just so much more hype, right? When you get a huge Colossus hit, you just feel really good.
Well, let me tell you, as a Terran, you don't feel very good if that Disruptor gets the money shot.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Well, we do have continued Colossi production here out of Zest, which is forcing the Vikings to come out here. We do have one Viking already on the field. With the Speed Prism, it's going to be pretty hard for the Viking to catch this. And I really like...
Speed Prisms are so fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked that one up a while ago with while I was discussing with my friends how fast different units were. And it turns out that the Warp Prism is faster than a Speed Banshee by 0.01 movement speed.
Interesting. So you can do the...
Oh god, he loses the Warp Prism.
Losing that prism with a Colossus inside of it really hurts. Zest needed to be a little bit more careful there. If we look at the army tab here, Zest was definitely ahead, and then with that one prism falling, huge plummet here. A little bit of a blunder, but yeah, I guess for now, as long as the Terran player doesn't immediately push, Zest should be okay. But Zest's army, actually, I think even if all this bio ran across, Zest would still be fine. You know, he's got 3 Colossi. The one thing he doesn't have is very much underneath them, right? Currently, he's got 6 gateways, so he should be able to warp in quite a few units. He's got these stalkers in the back. Yeah, gotta bring it all together if a push were to come across the map. But he knows it's not coming because of this observer. Right now, he's happy to continue getting this third base up and running and starting his fourth.
So what I'm a little bit worried about is that Bomber's upgrades are once again just way ahead of the Protoss upgrades. He's already almost finished with his +2 attack upgrade. The +1 armor upgrade is halfway done, and Zest just right now starting his +2 attack upgrade, which is not the kind of timing you want to have when you are in Zest's position.
So we have this massive drop coming in the bottom two, and even if the upgrades were the same, Zest only has one Colossus and a bunch of Stalkers here in the main. The rest of the units are at the, I guess, between the 3rd and 4th base. And if these come in here and just start unloading, Bomber can do quite a bit of damage before Zest can get his units here. The
He's going for the Dark Shrine
Dark Shrine is right here. It could get picked off, but I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a push at probably the 3rd base here from Bomber, and then as soon as Zest's attention is pulled, he's going to fly these units in. And actually going right now, scanning, comes in to drop the units. Warp in, going to come here, and immediately, so Zest pulling his army here, and that's going to allow Bomber to stim and run into the 3rd base. Zest, realizing that's happening, pulls back, actually does quite a bit of damage, cleans up all the stuff at the 3rd, but he's taking a fair bit of damage. He's lost 16 workers already at this point. Oh! Big pickoff! Picks off both of the medevacs that have all the units in them.
He got both of them, really?
Huge plays here by Zest. I mean, losing 16 probes, not ideal, but I think definitely worth it to get all of that army. Zest looking to be in a strong position here as long as he can hold off this follow-up push with the other medevacs. Okay, they're slowing down. They're coming in. He does see that there's a huge army still here. Decides to unload.
What's walking into the natural of Bomber? Oh, Dark Templars. I love it.
Yeah, 2 DTs. Now, there's currently 1 missile turret over here. At the natural, and we do have missile turret coming up at the gold as well, and this is going to be a planetary fortress. And Zest gearing up to take his 5th.
Well, if you have the money, and Zest has a lot of money, there's 1,500 minerals.
Yeah, I kind of wish that he would just make a bunch more gateways and throw this down. We do see that Shadow Strike coming out once again. Okay.
That upgrade is so underrated.
Yeah.
Like, recently we have seen Protoss players opting for that Blink DT run by kind of army where you just try to pull the late game Terran apart. You don't go for those Tempests anymore, but the big fight right now, and those Vikings getting sniped immediately, big drop into the main, and a second run by into the natural. Bomber just everywhere right now.
Yeah, Zest warping in a ton of DTs to deal with the stuff in the natural, using a big bulk, big part of his army to take down the main, but he still has plenty of stuff up here between the 3rd and the 4th. Does lose a few workers, but on 5 nexuses, he will be able to make those back fairly quickly. And yeah, to your point about Shadow Strike being underrated, I mean, it's the cost of a DT, right? So if the Shadow Strike can save a Dark Templar, then it's already paid for itself, right?
Yeah.
So definitely a strong thing. Okay, so we do have a counterattack from Zest here. There's a lot of Marauders and Marines here. Everything on the other side of the map has been cleaned up, and Zest gearing up to take a big fight. Liberation zones are set up, so Zest can't quite just walk in through this avenue.
Okay, so what I want to see Zest do is take those CTs and, okay, not really blink beneath the army of Bomber, but I guess DTs just deal a lot of damage either way, and so do the Colossi and Immortal. And the only thing that's left is a handful of Marines and Marauders. The SCVs are being pulled, but there's no way Bomber can hold this.
Yeah, there's just too much Protoss on the field right now. War Prism here to set up for another round. Bomber gonna definitely lose his natural here. Should lose the gold base as well. If not, just have to GG out because the production is under siege.
Okay, so what I would have loved to see by Zest is run some Dark Templars and Zealots into that third base, that third pocket base, and try to get some damage done there, because there is only one bunker and one turret. But now he's going for that planetary fortress. In the meanwhile, Bomber is going for the absolute desperation move at this point and dropping his leftover army into the fifth base. That's the fifth, right?
Yeah, that is the fifth. We do see a recall of a bunch of stalkers here. Now, unfortunately, that does mean that this Liberator can kind of shoot at some of those Colossi. And the Stalkers and Immortals actually getting kind of stuck on the mineral patches there. But it doesn't matter. Too many Protoss units, rather. And Zest going to tie up the series here, making it 1-1.
Okay, guys, so we are going to tell you right now, if you like those matches and if you want to see those builds in action yourself in game, make sure to get on Matcherino and get that replay pack. It really helps, and watching those players play is just always a fun time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think there's some other things as well if you'd like to contribute to the prize pool. Definitely we recommend that replay pack, but if you're really feeling it, you can pick up some of the Alpha X swag. You know, I think there's some like hoodies, some t-shirts, jerseys, jackets, that kind of thing. So definitely check out all of the things available to you if you want to contribute to the prize pool. All right, so it looks like game number 3 is going to be on Submarine. Are you in here yet?
Okay.
Wait, did you get in?
I'm in.
Okay, cool.
No worries.
All right.
Oh, I love it.
So,
Getting up early to get some awesome StarCraft. And we are already in the game.
yeah.
So will you do the first introduction?
I certainly will. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side, it is your blue Terran player, none other than Bomber.
And spawning in the left top side, the pink Protoss, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, it is Zest. Oh, what kind of decal is that Zest is using? That one looks so sick.
Oh,
That Protoss. Oh my god. It's the first time I see that one actually.
I think it's like
Those colors?
yeah, in the pink. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Zest, definitely a big fan of the pink color. I think pretty much every show match that I've seen him in, he opts for the pink. It's always fun to see how the players choose to go for the style. I think Zest is also using the Diva announcer pack. I don't know. We'll see. Pretty standard things here. This probe being fairly annoying here, almost killing one worker and doing some damage to the other.
Are you the Overwatch kind of guy, or no interest so far?
I've played a little bit of
Okay.
Overwatch. I've actually been playing a little bit of Valorant recently. I got into the beta for that a little while ago, and then now it's open to everybody. So I've been playing that with some friends when I'm not playing StarCraft.
How is it? Tell me
It's-
more. Because a friend of mine is really into Valorant, and I'm not really feeling the hype yet.
I like it a lot. I feel like they did a good job of capturing the really good parts of Counter-Strike, and then implementing some of the fun parts of Overwatch. But there's definitely a saying, too much Overwatch, not enough Counter-Strike. When people start trying to use their abilities instead of just shooting someone and using the standard guns and things. But I think they did a good job. with the game so far. There are a couple of characters that I think are a little bit frustrating to play against, but I'm sure
I've
as time
seen
goes
that
on.
one guy who just jumps back in time,
Yeah.
like the tracer kind of guy.
Yep.
I feel like units or champions with a lot of mobility are always kind of frustrating to play against. But what is this play by Zest? He does get the delay on the natural expand of Bomber. He gets the delay on the
Oh my
bunker as
gosh.
well.
He's gonna be able to kill this Marine too before it gets in. Zest
GG.
with what should have just been a little bit of harassment, winning the game. That Adept, what a hero.
Okay, so I was already like, okay, what is this wall by Bomber?
Yeah.
What was he smoking?
Yeah,
Building
that's weird.
that wall.
Like, he made like the supply depot, and then he like made another one, kind of like back away. I think it was an interesting. I think it was just unfamiliarity with the map, and then he kind of like wanted to have an add-on for his barracks, but then didn't have the space. Yeah, I don't know. But
That one was quite a wall indeed. Let's see what Astria and Armani are going to show us, because that one is certainly a match on the same level.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I found out, it was like last week, when the qualifiers happened for the next season of GSL, and Estrella made it through. We were all super hyped. Both Estrella and Zaun made it through. So I think of the 4 Alpha X folks that went over to Korea to try to get in, 2 of them got in. So pretty hyped. I'm excited to watch more and more Estrella.
You know, Rookie tried as well, right?
Yeah, it was Zaun, Rookie, Estrella, and then is it 4GG? Or Breaking GG? Is that the 4th player that's
That
over
could
there
be.
in the house?
I didn't look out for Breaking GG. I was like, oh, Rookie tried. Oh, he made it to the 2nd round in the losers bracket, which in the GSL qualifier is still like a big achievement.
Yeah.
There's just so much depth in those Korean players, like at least in those of the last generation, right? That you are just fighting for everything, really.
Actually, I might be wrong. I'm looking right now, and I don't see Breaking GG as a participant in here. I do see Estrella, Zaun, and Rookie.
Okay, so maybe
it was just
Breaking
those
GG
3.
just
Yeah, just those 3. But still,
you-
2 out of 3.
Did you know they play this offline, basically? Like, everybody gets to the PC bang and just plays it offline?
Huh. I didn't. That's pretty awesome.
That's so cool. I only got to know this because a friend of mine wanted to participate in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
He dropped out in the 1st round, but he was like, "Oh, you like usually you go to the PC bang in, I think it's Hongdae.
Okay.
Don't pin me down on this one, but I think it's Hongdae, and you go play your matches, and you can watch all the other players playing their matches."
Huh.
Thanks to the whole COVID situation, they decided to make it online for the 1st season. I'm not quite sure if they did the offline qualifiers for the 2nd season, but it's so
Yeah.
cool that they do that.
Yeah.
Next time I'm in Korea, I'll go there, no matter what.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
I have to skip on work or classes, I don't care. That one is
Be worth
so amazing.
Yeah. I think that's. Yeah, I need to go back to. I've only been in Korea once. I went 4 or 5 years ago, and unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see any live pro matches while I was there. But I stopped by some of the PC cafes and like got to play StarCraft with a couple friends.
Nice.
It was a good time.
So when I was going to Korea, I went in 2017 for my bachelor's because we need to do 1 year in Korea.
Okay.
And I was so hyped in 2016 that I could actually go there. And then the Pro League thing happened, and I was like, oh no, just when I'm about to go there, they canceled Pro League. Come on.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, you have to head
so
back sometime soon again and watch some of these amazing players play in the GSL. Speaking of these amazing players, let's go ahead and introduce them. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side, we have our red Protoss player from Alpha X. It is Estrella.
I was just about to say, we can watch him live right now.
Oh, yeah.
Spawning in the left top corner of Submarine, it is the blue Zerg player, Armani. Oh, did you catch that one? So, Stats and TY used to be teammates on KT Roaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have been teammates on Splice as well, right?
Okay.
So now that TY joined Africa Freaks, they're teammates once again.
That's really interesting. Kind of just following each other around everywhere. It's kind of nice, you know. You build relationships and friendships like that. It's always fun to see when the players know each other, especially when there's like some banter at the beginning of the games.
Yeah, that's like the best thing.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the many reasons to learn Korean. So if you haven't started yet, start right now. You have the motivation. Understand what's going on inside their heads. Especially nowadays, a lot of those players, like especially TY, Ragnarok, SOS, they've been putting out a lot of content as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, SOS not on YouTube as far as I know, but the other two have been on YouTube for a while. And TY also streams like almost every day. And he gets a lot of those thoughts of Stats and Zest. For example, before the after the group selection for the round of 16 of the GSL, they were all at TY's place, and they were just talking and having like some dinner together. And they were like, okay, this player is really good in that matchup, and hey, don't underestimate the Jin Air effect. And that was super interesting to listen to.
Yeah, that's really cool. Alright, well, we do have two depths making their way in. They do cancel their shade here, not wanting to commit too hard. And behind this, Estrella is going for an Oracle first. Will he make a second one? Looks like he will.
I feel like he has to go for a third one as well if he's opting to expand. I feel like with that pylon placement there, he's definitely going to get a Nexus at his third base location.
Ooh. These
Don't
adepts.
lose those adepts.
Yeah. Playing with fire a little bit here. He does start this Nexus, but great positioning by this first adept here. Does stay alive. Oh, he does lose a probe though. A little unfortunate. But at the same time, trying to fly in, but the 3 queens will bat this Oracle away before it gets any damage done.
Okay, so a third Oracle on the way. After that one, we should see the Oracle production stopping and just a lot of Immortals.
Yeah, we do see that Robo Bay is finished here. Spores are coming down in all 3 of the bases. They will be finished shortly. But we've got a little bit of a depth pressure coming in here. He shades them away, and he's going to try to pick off a few drones. Not quite going to get any. But just keeping Armani preoccupied a little bit. With these 3 queens in the sport here, I don't think these oracles are going to want to commit into the natural. They will head into the main here. Picking off 1, maybe 2, 3 workers. And
then getting recalled.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, big Ling run by getting into the natural. That's what the recall was for. And those Lings will be doing a lot of damage. Not only killing those probes, but also getting some mining time. Getting Astria out of his groove.
Yeah.
This is really good for
A
Armani.
little bit of a blunder. I'm guessing Australia just didn't have an adept on hold position here in the middle. And now we do see all of the drone production has ceased for Armani. Armani just making tons and tons of Lings along with these Roaches and Ravagers. And Australia needs to start chronoing out Immortals here. Making a few shield batteries here, but this first pylon is going to go down. Now that does mean that this shield battery and this photon cannon, both of these are going to be completely unpowered when they finish. So not sure if he's going to cancel those or let them finish.
Okay, so this is not the first time I see Astria struggling against this type of timing with the Stargate opener. He did struggle against Solar recently as well, playing this exact same style against this exact same timing, and it feels like he is in a rough spot right now. The Ravagers are just draining on top of those pylons. He has 2 Immortals, I give you that, but there's a lot of units streaming across the map.
And even if he does hold this, he's lost all of the workers at the third base, just about lost the third base, and Armani is starting to drone up a little bit behind this, right? So Armani taking his lair, teching a little bit, taking gas as well. He's going to be on
Let's
4
see how
gases.
many gases he adds, because if with the layer on the way, I feel like we might see Munilisk follow-up, because at this point, why not?
Yeah,
Really, why not? There's not that much that Astria can afford, and if you're that far ahead, just go for it.
Yeah, we see 5 gases completed here. These oracles are going to try to fly in here. There's 1 spore crawler, so they should be able to get a little bit of damage done. But we have queens already spawning here at each of the bases. So these oracles aren't going to be able to get much done. And I am afraid for our Protoss player here. Currently half the army supply of his opponent. Down in workers, never a position that feels comfortable. He is starting up that third nexus again.
Okay, so Dropalots are on the way. We just saw 1 finish. I'm curious what he's going to do with those. Is he just going to drop some roaches into the main? 12 additional roaches coming in.
It looks like the lair was for the drop lords as well as getting this roach speed.
Oh, those Dropalots, I want to know where they are going. Come on, Armani, show me what you've got.
We do have some immortal drop pressure coming up here. Picks off a queen actually and starts to get a couple of drones here before having to pick up and evacuate.
This is not good for Astria. There's just a ton of roaches being built, and
The queen's
I don't
inside
think
the drop
DTs
lords. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too many Zerg units there. Armani picking up game number 1.
In a convincing fashion. I feel like this, or it looks like this Stargate opener that Astria likes to play is really really fragile when it comes to those big roach ling timings, because this is not the first time we see him fall. He needs to scout this immediately and start throwing down shield batteries.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll just get overrun.
Yeah, and I think he had the tools available to him, right? Like getting those oracles in the fight as well. I think there's an oracle that was just sitting at the third the entire time, just not really doing anything. I think you have to have all of your units there, and like you said, you have to have the batteries already like completed. You have to have an immortal chrono boosted out just so that you can survive. I think if you hold that there, then you're in a really great position, right? Because the Zerg has kind of stopped their own economy for a while. You can kind of counterattack while you make sure to get your possibly fourth base up or whatever tech choice you want. But yeah, definitely have to have those batteries up earlier.
Okay, let's see how this map is going to pan out. Spawning in the right top corner of the map, Ice and Chrome. It is the blue Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is Astria.
And spawning in the bottom left, it is your red Zerg player from Afrika Freaks. It is Armani.
Okay, do you think we'll see Armani go for that Ling type of bust that he went for in his matches against Zest?
Possibly. I think it'll kind of come down to what happens at the very beginning, right? Armani doesn't have to choose to do that quite yet. You wait until you see the Adept, get a little bit farther in, and then you can make the call, all right, I'm going to stop making drones, I'm just going to flood the Lings right now. But, if something happens earlier, you can kind of change your mind and be like, oh, you know what? My opponent isn't being very aggressive. They're just kind of turtling. They already made a whole bunch of structures at the front, at their wall. Just mass expand and drone up really hard. So I think it's Armani's choice to make at this point.
I agree. The good thing about Zerg is that you are so reactionary with your play, then you can just decide, okay, I'm not going to spend my lava on drones right now. I'm just going to bust this wall down and take a win that way. For Protoss or Terran, you kind of need to have the structures to build it, to build your units. You need those gateways, you need those barracks, and everything is kind of planned beforehand.
Yeah.
So Zerg just really flexible when it comes to this.
Yeah, I mean, even like it comes down to where you put your second pylon can have an impact on what you're doing and how the game is going, kind of thing. So, like you're saying, Zerg does enjoy the benefit of flexibility. Now, on the flip side, that does mean that they have to choose, right? Like, oh, I have to be very careful about how I spend my larva, and if I accidentally spend my larva on drones instead, I might get screwed and not have enough larva to make any defensive units. So, kind of a two-sided sword there.
They have the freedom, but for what cost?
Exactly.
Okay, so we see the Stargate finishing up for Astria once again. So he is going to go for that Oracle play yet again. Or is he going for Phoenix? No, it's the Oracle. Okay. When was the last time you saw Mass Phoenix played against Zerg?
I feel like if you watch Roddy's stream enough, you see it. So I would say the last time I watched Rotterdam, that's whenever that was. All right, so these two Adepts trying to get something done here. Might actually lose one of them. No, okay, they will shade out safely, make their way over to the third base. Now we have the spores in each base at this point already. So this first Oracle, not going to get too much done here. This Adept's actually picking off 3 more drones here before making their way out.
I love what Astria did with his adepts. He got a scout off in the main base. He got a scout off at the third base. He saw that there were drones building, but what he didn't see is a evolution chamber that is coming up, and I have a feeling that this is for melee attack upgrades.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Zerglings doing a bunch of damage here, but the push will come a little bit later. Yeah, and there it is, the +1 attack. So right now, Armani content to drone up, but as soon as that +1 attack finishes, I think we'll see a lot of lings get produced and either run across the map, or if there's lair, perhaps Nidus, and a Baneling nest actually coming down now as well. So
He's okay now. Armani has me wondering: is he going for super late Baneling bust, or is this just defensive?
Oh, I don't know. So he has 2 gas guns. Okay, so we got a bunch of adepts here at the third base. 3 workers have fallen, and all of the lings have actually been picked off now. Another queen has to come up here and fight, but the adepts are shading. Oh, they're going to cancel their shade. They're going to stay here and recall out. They do pick off 3 drones only, but a lot of lings have fallen, and at this point, in terms of units lost, it's been 2 adepts in total for 8 drones and 10 Zerglings. So Estrella doing a great job of trading. We see some lings.
The layer and the fourth base are coming up as well. So I'm not sure if he's actually going for the big ling bust. He might just try to get the third base. He gets on top of those sentries for a little bit, but the force field will eventually protect them from those evil foes that are the Zerg.
So Estrella kind of just chilling with these oracles in the middle of the map here. There's an observer making its way over, and the layer is finished, so we'll have to see what Armani wants to do, and it is going to be a Hydralisk. So that's curious to me, because he's starting up melee 2 attack at the same time. So
I guess it's for the big Baneling connect on the probes, because then your Banelings will just one-shot the probes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And I wonder if the Hydra Den is just kind of as like a protection in case Estrella starts going for more area units. I mean, we see that that's not the plan, right? We've got Immortals coming out, we got Charge. The Stargate is kind of sitting idle here at this point. But no, sure enough, we see Hydralisk coming out, as well as the ranged attack. Ling's trying to get some rise.
Astria is gearing up for a big attack. He has Archons, he has +1 finished, he has Charge coming up, and he didn't start +2 yet. Neither did he take a 4th base, so I'm guessing he will just try to move out, and in that moment he takes the 4th axis.
Of course. So that run by was kind of nice by Armani. He ran a bunch of lings, and he did get some Banelings in here. They connected and killed off 7 workers there. So not a huge number, but definitely not bad. The Zergling.
It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Yeah. The Zerglings see this hit squad of Zealots.
Oh, Armani heading into those Baneling drops, getting the movement speed upgrade for those Overlords, setting up another run by as well, and well, this is not the thing Astria is hoping for, I think, because those Banelings are heading in now. The Wall-Off will prevent a lot, and with those Archons he should not take any damage. +2 attack upgrade not done yet, so those probes still take two Banelings to die.
Yeah. Storm finishing up shortly here. Movement speed started up for the Hydralisks as well. And we finally see the Evo Chamber starting to get the ranged attack upgrades on top.
Infestation Pit on the way as well. the thing is, Armani has this big muscly army, but what he has to focus on is not losing his Hydras, because replacing Lings and Banelings is kind of easy, right? But replacing Hydralisks, those are his muscle.
Yeah,
Everything else is like, okay, I can trade that off, but losing Hydras would really hurt.
Yeah. There are 5 Templar with enough energy for storms. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of an engagement here. We have a lot of Zealots
coming up as well.
A ton of Banes.
Oh, those Zealots will not want to fight the Banelings. Draws them back. And those storms!
Some nice storms there.
Those storms hit so well. Oh man. Those Hydras are clean now.
Ooh, Baneling drops at the third base.
Oh.
It's picking off 10 workers here. The Overlord will die, but definitely worth it for Armani.
And Armani is just putting on the pressure on every side of the map. He's going for those Baneling drops. He has those run-bys ready whenever he wants. He's pressuring with his main army at the 4th base. And Astria is really getting cornered in right now. He has +3 attack upgrade on his way. The Spire is started now though. So I think we might see some Broodlords in addition to the Lurkers.
Yeah, we got 6 Lurkers morphing here. We do have the Adrenal Glands coming down for the Lings as well. So I think, Armani setting up to do, be able to make any kind of unit that he wants. We see the Lurker range is going to come up first, and then the burrow speed will follow.
Oh, I love how Armani is not moving his Lurkers with the whole army. I would have loved those Lurkers at the 6th base though, to defend against any kind of push that Astria is opting to do. Now he had to cancel the hatchery, and engaging up a choke or ramp of any kind is a bad idea. If there are so many Archons, Astria is forced to back off, and that Ling run-by should die as well.
Yeah, kind of funny. The Lings get into that pocket there, kind of using Astria's buildings against him, reducing the surface area that the Zealots had. Astria coming in, clearing some of this creep. And we haven't talked about this, but Armani's creep spread has been quite good so far.
He is struggling against those run-bys though. He's getting picked apart by Astria right now. Run-bys on the left side of the map. Meanwhile, Astria is clearing a lot of that creep, and if Armani is not able to take another base, this might as well be it. Nice connects on those High Templars, getting a last storm off, but now all the Archons and Immortals are about to die.
Yeah, those Banelings connecting with those High Templar was huge for Armani.
And this is the hard thing about the Zealot Archon Immortal composition, because the one key unit that is missing in what I just said is the High Templar, and what you have to do with that kind of army is just defend your High Templars with everything you've got. You need to position your Archons the right way, and if you're getting chased, you need to make sure that those High Templars are not being left over as a tail of your army, because if that is the case, they will just get picked up by Zerglings or Banelings either way.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta make sure you keep all of your units together and keep them protected. Okay, now with this big attack here, we've got a Ling run-by at the base here. Oh, the pylon goes down, so all those Zealots get canceled. And at the same time, the Lurkers and the Hydras are running in here. These Archons are just about out of shield, and this Templar does not have enough energy for a storm. I think Armani is going to clean the Estrella up here.
Yeah, those zealots will not be able to do anything against this amount of hydras and lurkers. Now the last couple of units are closing in, but there's a big ball of banelings running towards the 4th base, and GG is called.
I think I had the wrong score up on the page there, because, correct me if I'm wrong, in the last game, Armani took both of those games, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I apologize, I had the wrong score on that page. So Armani will be playing against Bomber now, to see who the final player in this series, or in Group A. So.
And for everybody who has been following the GSL in the last season, this is a rematch. They faced off already in the group phase. So what's your favorite matchup? You're more the TVZ, PVT, PvP, PVZ?
To watch or to play?
To watch. Let's say to watch, because to play is a whole different thing.
yeah. I think, so I like a lot of the different matchups for different reasons. But I think my favorite matchup to watch probably would be either PVZ or PVT. Just as a Protoss player, I like those two matchups, and I think PvP is a little bit wonky. Not a huge fan of those games. All of the mirror matchups.
You don't like those.
Yeah.
Getting proxy buildings all over the map is the best thing ever.
It's so cheeky, and it's like, oh, you didn't drop the pylon in your wall and the 2 depths get in? Sorry, you lost, kind of thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely not PvP. Yeah, I would, between PVZ and PVT, I think PVT. I think I like watching PVT the most. I think there's a lot of like really interesting things. I think it's frustrating to play against Terran. Siege tanks are very good units, I think.
You know, playing as a Terran against Protoss, at least when you're playing Bio, actually, no matter what you play, it can be so frustrating. Like getting those huge disruptor hits on top of your army, getting those Dark Templar run-bys into your base, and not having enough detection. The early game can be super frustrating as well, especially with the new 4-gate blink meta. So definitely a lot of frustrating things in those matchups. Yet alone the Widow Mine hits on probes. I don't want to imagine how that feels.
It's your soul just dies a little bit on the inside, especially if they have tunneling claws and they just like instantly burrow. It's like, well,
bye probes.
Yeah.
Was nice knowing you guys.
I've been practicing. I was doing some practice matches the other day, and I had a friend who was like, "Hey, just go burrowed Widow Mines against me, game after game," because I noticed when I was playing, I'd try to pull my workers, and it would just make it worse because they would all clump up, and then the mine would hit all of the workers instead of just like half of the workers. It was just, ugh. Pulling all the ones except for the one that's been tagged is the key. In any case, let's go ahead and introduce our players. Would you like to do the honors and introduce our first player?
Of course I will. It is the red Terran player spawning in the right bottom side of submarine, representing Team GP. It is Bomber.
And of course, in the top left, it is your blue Zerg player representing Afrika Freaks. It is Armani.
Okay, so did you see the group match between those in the GSL?
I did not. No, I don't think I got to see Armani versus Bomber. What's the scoop? Fill me in.
Okay, so I don't quite remember. So what I do remember is Bomber is still Bomber and he does what Bomber does. And that's pretty much just rallying as many Marines across the map as humanly possible and microing the heart out of them. He's just trying to get as good of a spread and splits as he can and overwhelm the Zerg really. And that's a really nice style to watch because you have non-stop action. You know, everything is on the line at every engagement, which is super fun to watch really.
Yeah. We'll have to see if that's what Bomber chooses to go for this game, and I think probably. I mean, I don't see anything.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't see anything on this, like this specifically on this map that would, make that not work very well. It's pretty straight path. Well, there's a little bit of zigzagging if you're rallying units over, but Armani, I like hiding this drone back here. Really well done. The Reaper's gonna not see it. Now the drone can come down here and safely take that third base, not have to turn into an extractor.
I love that move. I watched some replays of him playing against Innovation in one of our team's special events. I think it was a Hot Streak series where he played this exact same where he did this exact same thing on Golden Wall, where he just hit the drone behind the mineral line until he saw the Reaper in his base, and then he took the third base. This is a nice move if you are... Oh! Bomber gets the crit tumor. Nice.
Very well done.
This is a nice move if your opponent only goes for the Reaper to block your hedge, but if he goes for an SCV scout and blocks your hedge with the SCV scout, you are facing no real advantage doing it.
A Ling actually gets into the main base of Bomber here. Does get a little bit of a scout off. Sees the two Hellions and sees Stim researching.
And this is already a sign of Bomber's style. He does not get the fast starport. He didn't go for a lot of Hellions to have a lot of map presence. He's just going for a big push, and he's going to rally everything across the map, even though he did get the third base.
Yeah, and I really like that. Going for like the Hellions and the Mass Marines early means that he only has to use that one gas geyser at the beginning. He only just now finished the second refinery, and you can afford all that because you're not sinking your money into the starport and into the other refinery and whatnot. So very cool opening.
Interesting wall up once again, not blocking the natural, but blocking the second path to the natural.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna take the third base up here.
Do you think he's just going to expand in a line upwards?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess. I feel like that base is a lot more exposed. So interesting that Bomber is choosing to go for this third as opposed to the quote triangle third, we'll call it. Yeah, I guess he's gonna wall this off, and he just has like one corridor that he really has to protect here. Hellions are gonna come in.
And if he's pushing either way, like if he's going for those big rally pushes, this type of wall is really nice because the Ling run bys just don't affect you anymore. They need to get through that wall, and while they are trying to get through the wall, your reinforcements will just clean them up.
Yeah, for sure. We see a Spire coming down here from Armani. hidden over at the third base. I actually really like this location, right? Because if like the Hellions are trying to run into the main and do all that kind of scouting, like you might just miss this. So it's a neat little place to put it.
This is another one of those Korean specialities that you just get the Spire super early. A lot of foreign Zerg players have been more the I get Hydras kind of guys, especially sort of. I have heard speaking about this, that he just gets Hydras because they're so much better defensively. But those Mutalisks, if you get the right engagements, will do great for you in the longer terms, because you get the pressure on their economy. You can pick off reinforcements. In this match, however, I'm not sure if you want to go for any Mutalisks, because there's a big push coming towards Armani's third base, and Bomber is gearing up to just take him down right away.
We do have a fair number of Banelings, but there are a lot of Marines, and we've got 4 tanks here. Stim is finished. Combat Shields is done as well. And yeah, the Mutalisks are not going to be great for helping defend against Marines. If the Banelings can connect, and we have quite a few Banelings with the centrifugal hooks, so if those Baneling connections are good, it'll probably work out. Okay, some of these Marines getting...
This is a really nice run by here by Armani. He gets a lot of the reinforcements, gets the army of Bomber to move back, and buys himself a lot more time because his 2-2 upgrades are about to finish. Bomber's upgrades, on the other hand, he's only finishing +1 armor right now.
Yeah, I think this is really well done. If Bomber's army had pushed into Armani's bases, it would have been a kind of difficult hold, but doing that run by, kind of forcing Bomber to return home, was a very smart play, and this has allowed Armani to continue making a ton of Lings, continue morphing in more and more Banelings. Ooh, loses a couple of Mutalisks that were rallied, but huge Zergling run by here, getting into the natural base here. The Mutalisks are on top of the production. Siege Tank is going to fall quickly, and at the same time, we've got the Terran pushing into the third base of Armani.
And Bomber really needs to decide quick. Is he going to turn around? It does not look like it, but he is not pushing aggressively neither. Loses a bunch of Marines here already. 17 SCVs have died. The next turret will get taken down, and the Mutalisks will just fly on out of there, doing a lot of economic damage. They got on top of the production, took down a bunch of it, and right now Bomber is completely all in. There's no coming back, and Armani knows about it. He's engaging on top of Bomber's army. Those Mutalisks are fighting Marines, and they should not do so. The reinforcements for Bomber are coming in, and Armani will need a lot of Banelings right now and not lose those Overlords, because that will definitely hurt him.
Yeah, we only have 10 Banelings finishing up right now. The Baneling nest had to get rebuilt, and it's actually rebuilt right next to all these Marines, and they're going to go ahead and power it down before it gets a chance to finish. So these 10 Banelings are all the Banelings that he has to work with, but it looks like that's going to be more than enough. No medevacs here to lift up these Marines, and they will get surrounded and completely massacred. Medevacs
Once
here.
again, Armani just playing out that upgrade advantage. Bomber's Marines are about to get +2 attack upgrades, but I'm not sure if this is enough for him. Armani spots his army on the bottom side. He does have a couple of Banelings, not that many though, and he should be really careful on how he engages Bomber's army.
I just realized that Bomber didn't actually kill that Baneling's nest that's outside of the natural when he was pushing earlier, and that's why, Armani was able to make even more Banelings while the other baneling nest was building, and like losing it there didn't actually cost him any time because this baneling nest survived probably with like 25 health. It's back up to 60 now, but a little bit of a blunder there, not finishing it off. We have Lings coming in. They're going to try to surround and hold all these Marines still while the banelings connect here. Mutalisk is getting on top of the tanks, and with all of these banelings collapsing onto the remaining Marines, that is going to do it. And Armani will take game number 1 in this best of 3.
So let's once again give a shout out to our Match Reno page, where you can get the replays for all those matches. If you want to try Bomber Style, make sure to check the replays out. It's only $5 on Match Reno. So if you have the money, if you want to see those replays, go ahead, click on the link, get those replays.
For sure. And it looks like one of our players is going to run to the restroom. So another thing that we want to talk to you about, in addition to going to the Match Reno page, is something called a little bit of self-care, right? What are you drinking right now? Because if it's not G Fuel, you need to stop. You need to go get some G Fuel, because G Fuel is the official drink of esports. Whatever you're drinking, I mean, if it's not G Fuel, it's not worth drinking. So definitely make sure to go get some of this stuff. It'll take your energy from 0 to 100 real quick. I already had one of these earlier because it is just about 2:30 a.m. my time. So definitely keeping me strong, keeping me focused, watching these wonderful games. And as we all know, gaming is a marathon, right? It's not just like one quick game here or there. We've got, we had Estrella versus Bomber, Zest Armani, Bomber Zest, Estrella Armani, and now we're finally wrapping things up with Bomber Armani here. And in order to keep all this action going and make sure that you can see all of it, stay awake for all of it, you definitely need to have something that's going to get your blood pumping, keep your energy high, and that's exactly what G Fuel does. So make sure to check them out and let them know that we sent you. And yeah, so thank you, G Fuel, for being a wonderful sponsor of this event and a bunch of the other Alpha X things in general. Looks like we are just about ready to start. We are waiting on Armani, who's currently using the restroom. For a moment there, it looked like I was going to play against Bomber, which would have been a very one-sided match.
For him.
But yeah,
right?
Oh no, I could take Bomber. Psh, psh. Code S GSL player, yeah.
It's just a GSL player. Come on.
Oh yeah,
Nothing big.
Yeah. Hey man, I hit Masters 1. I could do it. No, not at all.
I remember casting one of the team leagues, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if it was the team leagues or something like the pro circuit, but every time I ended up in the team 1 spot, and I was facing off against Zest, Innovation. And I always put in the 50% handicap and the pink color just to put a little sauce on it.
Of course. You gotta, just to play around with it. All right, looks like our players are back. We are ready to rock and roll here. And let's get into game number 2.
How's the weather in the US?
It's pretty good. I'm in San Francisco, so it's a little bit chilly, foggy, but it's never cold, right? We just tend to have really good weather a lot of the time, so I can't really complain. How about yourself? Where
over here in Germany, we are just having the worst kind of summer weather. It's 10 to 15 degrees Celsius.
It's a little chilly.
We have rain.
Ooh, no fun.
Just everything your heart desires.
Well, hopefully you don't have any ice and chrome, because that is the map that we are spawning on here. And in the top right, we have our red Terran player representing Team GP. It is Bomber.
And spawning on Ice and Chrome as the blue Zerg player in the bottom left, representing Africa Freaks, the one who is up against a strategy that TLO never sees losing. It is Armani.
The strategy, of course, is the proxy 2-racks. Now, this first Overlord is not quite going to scout it. Second one is here, making sure that there's no bunker or anything getting built quite yet. But yeah, he should see this a little bit later. Okay, he does see the first SCV.
Second SCV coming in.
Coming in. The pool has already started, but we're going to need to see some drone pulls. And sure enough, we do see 3 drones coming down here. We already
immediately nibbling at those SCVs. Get some bites off of them. I don't think they taste quite that well because they are mostly machines, but go ahead. Do what you like, drone. You go. Okay, the first drone should be falling. No focus fire quite yet. The starter step is on point, but only 3 drones have fallen so far, and all the Marines have been cleaned up, as well as one of the SCVs. The bunker should fall as well, and Bomber realizing, hey, I don't think this is going to go my way. Let's go back.
Yeah, really good defense there by Armani. Mineral walking the workers out there to get the surrounds on those SCVs and on those Marines. And at this point, Armani's kind of going on the offensive a little bit, sending the Lings across the map, realizing, hey, you probably don't have any units at home, and you had to pick your barracks up and fly them home, so you don't have production for a little while either. Oh, okay. I saw that supply depot down, and I thought for a split second that we were going to see a disaster for Bomber. But of course,
oh my god, SCV just died. Oh no.
I'm not sure what happened there, because it's like the SCV walked out. I think Bomber tried to micro it, tried to pull it off and get it to stop building, so that it wouldn't be vulnerable. But instead, it popped out, and the Lings were able to kill it.
I feel like it spawned just the way this SCV is, and then he tried to micro it by getting it off and some weird transfer on the other side because RNG.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite work out. And now he lost 2 SCVs to a bunch of Zerglings. His 2-Rex has been stopped pretty convincingly. The 3rd base for the Zerg player is on the way. Meanwhile, Bomber is just doing what Bomber does, and he's going for a 3rd CC.
I mean, if you gotta come back, why not come back in style, Eco cheese.
Oh my god, Bomber, what are you doing? Once again, he's going for the super greedy follow-up. In the last game, we already saw him going for those 3 racks before he got the help me on this one. Starport.
Yeah. He just went, the mass Marines without getting any medevacs. I think it's probably okay. I mean, Bomber knowing Armani, knowing that he's probably gonna just drone up behind all of this, it's like, okay, well, if my opponent is just gonna go make a ton of drones and build their economy, I can probably cut a little corner here and make another high ground command center. Because if he doesn't do this, he's gonna fall way behind in terms of the worker count. I mean, we already see it's 49 workers to the 33. That, of course, is because Zerg can mass produce their drones in big batches.
The Overlord did see the
Yeah.
starport and it's going to cancel the research.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I guess
at
I
least
like
he,
that.
yeah, at least he saves some money on the cloak, since it's not going to get any damage done either way. Why not save it, right?
Yeah, for sure. This first Banshee did walk in there, didn't get any kills, got pushed back by the Spore Crawler and the Queens.
And
Okay.
without the cloak, that Banshee is pretty much useless.
Yeah. Do have quite a few Hellions here. These Queens trying to fight the Hellions, but of course off creep Queens are extraordinarily slow. Hellions do get to pick off the live creep tumor here. Nice little bonus for Bomber.
While we are playing the new maps, did you look at the balance changes that are coming up?
I haven't read the most recent change, but the last thing that I was aware of, they've got the overcharge thing is still coming through for Protoss. They've changed it though, so that it's not completely useless. It's only mostly useless. Queen range is still getting reduced, right? And then is the Widow Mine changes still going through?
I think it is. What didn't go through is the Baneling change.
Oh, okay.
But what they did is they reduced the damage Banelings do to non-light units. So Marauders, Stalker, Archon, Immortal, and so on and so forth. Now they do 2 less damage, but the damage to light units is still the same, so...
Okay.
Your probes will still die.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, probes will still die, Marines will still die, but Archons will soak up, things a little bit better. Tanks will
I guess
soak up.
so. But yet again, like, if you already have those 20 Banelings crushing in on the Archon ball, I feel like what's the difference?
Yeah, the 2 damage isn't really gonna play a huge role. We do have a huge push in here, and I love the positioning of these 2 tanks. This base definitely going down very quickly, and all the Banelings forced to reposition over here. We do have the Mutalisks finally coming out. How many do we have? Total of 6 Mutalisks, so that is the magic number if our money wanted to go counterattack. But huge Baneling connections on all of those Marines. Lings getting over, surrounding, killing off the tanks, and this is starting to turn around very, very quickly here. Bomber losing his entire army at the front. Overstayed his welcome just a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't just lose, like, Marines there. He also lost 2 tanks and the Medivacs. And losing tanks and Medivacs is never a good thing. Those are the units you want to preserve, because those cost a lot of gas. They make your army so much stronger. It's like losing Ghost against Protoss. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. We do see some Thors coming out here for Bomber, as well as the Widow Mine upgrade. 4th base trying to come out on location, and these Marines going to bat away some of these Mutalisks. So now the Mutalisk count has grown up. We're at 12 Mutalisks right now. 1 more in production. We've got the air attack, so it looks like Armani is going to try to commit to Mutalisk composition.
I feel like Armani's Baneling count is a little low. Only at 11 Banelings. If Bomber should decide to walk across the map, I feel like Armani is in a bad spot. On the other hand, Bomber is down 20 army supply, 20 supply, and well, Armani is just keeping him in his own base by attacking all over the map.
Yeah, upgrades just now tying up here. 2-2 done for both players. And it looks like Bomber is going to start trying to clear, creep, and move across the map. But as soon as that happens, we have a huge Ling run by. as well as a ton of Mutalisks coming in here. Mines are burrowing, gonna get a pretty decent thing and forcing the space to lift off. Now, while this is happening, Bomber is gonna go ahead and run in and try to take the hatchery. All of the drones getting evacuated, Armani realizing there's no way he's gonna keep this base. But at the same time, Armani's gonna go ahead and power down this command center. These players are just trading base for base. Bunch of Banelings are morphing here. Okay, some great Baneling connections here. All of the army of Bomber is going to get cleaned up with the Thors.
And if you are Armani, unless, like, except that Widowmine shot, you take that trade. You took down the third base for the Terran. You killed a lot of SCVs. You killed the whole army. And all you lost is one hatchery. What's one hatchery to a match, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, currently we're seeing 80 workers for Armani to the 62 of Bomber. Army supply very slightly in favor of Bomber. Now we do have these Thors, and they're going to do a lot of work against the Mutalisks if the Mutalisks decide to bunch up. Ooh, got to be a little bit careful with these Mutalisks here. Flying over Marines, Thors, and mines, not something Bomber wants to do. But here we go. Baneling's trying to run up and make some nice connections.
They have a nice corridor of creep here to just bounce on top of this Terran army. The Mutalisks are now going towards the main base of the Terran player to get some harassment down. They did get one reactor that was helping to pump out those Widow mines that are so despised by every Zerg player. Bomber now moving in on this hatchery by Armani. He's focusing on it. The Widow mines did not get too well of connects out. That one was really good, getting a lot of banelings, but there wasn't any support behind those Widow mines. There was not enough Marine Marauder force to really push the Lings and Mutalisks back beyond that. And only now the reinforcements for Bomber are slowly pushing Armani back towards that base.
Yeah, this is looking kind of dicey for Bomber here, and turning around slowly. This is going to give Armani time to get all of these Banelings up. Currently, the Baneling count at 18 with 9 more on the way. We've got 4 more Mutalisks coming out. Yeah, I mean, Bomber's got to get some miracle mine shots here, I think, to stay in this. Armani's army currently 92 supply to the 59 of Bomber. Now, Bomber does have 3 done at this point to the 2-2 of Armani. But Bailey's coming here, getting some okay connections. It's a lot of Lings and Banes and Mutalisks trying to collapse on the main army here. Mines are going to burrow.
Oh, that surround on those bio units with the Zerglings was beautiful. Bomber now trying to split his heart out with those Marines and Marauders. The Marauders soaking a lot of damage. The Marines microing backwards, but there are still so many Mutalisks left that I'm not sure if he can hold it, but he does.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, this is so dicey of a match. It's back and forth all the time. This is TVZ at its peak.
Yeah, really great splits there by Bomber. Mutalisks eating a ton of shots there, but a Ling counterattack here does force the liftoff of the base here. And okay, we got a tech lab going down. Nice boost of the medevac with the Thor in here. These units are starting to get kind of red. They do pick off the medevac, and they're going to try to magic box focus down this Thor. And at the same time, we've got a bunch of Lings and Banes running in. They're going to run past the planetary. And then here we go, running in. The Banelings making
on those SCVs, and the planetary fortress will fall as well. Bomber is just holding on to a straw right now. His only chance left is to kill everything with what he's got right now. And even then, those circling run-bys are looking so dangerous.
Yeah, 29, 30 workers, huge lane run by at the third base over here. This does mean the Bomber is going to try to run over here and just take the base race. Yeah, at this point, he's down to 15 workers. All the lanes.
Where's the army for Armani? He needs a lot of paintings right now.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of banelings at that top base. They are running down here, making some nice connections here, and they will clean up the army. And Armani taking game number 2, and that's gonna mean that Armani will advance here
as the second player. First player to advance, keep in mind, was Zest, with some beautiful play today, with a lot of Dark Templar as well.
Yeah, favorite unit here. But yeah, very well done by all of our players. Of course, you know, Zest, Bomber, Armani, Estrella, these are all top tier GSL level players. I think all of them are in Season 2 except for Bomber, didn't quite make it to Codes. But of course, Bomber, amazing player, was in, you know, Codes last season, and I'm sure we will see him get back in there in the future. Yeah, great job, and congratulations to Zest and Armani for making it through today's group stage. Tomorrow, I believe, so you know, tomorrow night, same time, we should have Zound, Impact Dream, and Hurricanes group number B, group letter B, which I think those are, I'm pretty excited about those as well.
Group B as in badass, because that group is looking stacked.
Yeah. It'll be amazing to see who makes it out of that group. The 2 players that make it out of that group, of course, will go ahead and play against Armani and Zest. Let me go ahead and actually pull up the poster here. We'll switch over to this overlay. You can see all the players here. So today we had Estrella, Armani, Bomber, and Zest. Tomorrow, Wednesday, June 10th, 4 p.m. KST, 9 a.m. KST will have down Impact. Right here, same time, same place. And yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it for us. Make sure you go check out the Matcherino page. You know, all of the coupons I think have been used, but go get that replay pack. Go ahead and check out some of those quests. You know, follow, like, etc. All of the things for G-Fuel. Check out some of the other swag you can pick up, and make sure to support our players. You know, this is I think this is going to be a 75-25 split payout for first and second place, and all of the players doing an amazing job of bringing great games and wonderful content to all of you. I think that's just about going to do it. Any final thoughts from you?
If you want to see how Hurricane is doing, since he didn't make it to the GSL either, make sure to tune in tomorrow. I'm certainly looking forward to it. To all those Korean viewers, 시청해 주셔서 감사합니다. 오늘 좋은 경기를 봤으면 좋을 것 같아요. 그리고 내일도 시청하면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right. Well, have a great rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in the world. I am going to go head to bed myself, but I'm excited to check out some of these matches tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone, and stay safe.